My name's Alex, and I'm an alcoholic. I have a sobriety date. It's January 31st of 2022. I have a sponsor. He knows he's my sponsor. I have the privilege of sponsoring other men, taking other men through steps. I have the privilege to be a son, a brother, a boyfriend, and all these other things in life that I wasn't capable of doing before. This is surreal. Like, I'm really grateful to be here today. Kind of like CJ was saying, like 2 years ago, there was no way I would imagine I'd be up on a stage in a church talking about things in my life, what I went through and where I'm at now. So I'm really, really grateful for the opportunity. Grateful to be alive, honestly, today. Just ripping and running through addiction, and sometimes just, stuff in life that happens. Like, I was in the hospital this past weekend. Infection, abscess turned into a monster infection, couldn't get rid of it, got a little dicey there. But all throughout, so I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they're like, how are you feeling, mentally throughout the whole thing? And I was like, I was cool. I was at peace. I knew God got me. So I stayed and remained calm, got through it, made me grateful for life in general, what I have, who I have. And it's all, my connection to my higher power, which is God, got me through all of that. And that wasn't always the case. I was disconnected from God for so long. Didn't want to have a relationship with him whatsoever. So I was born in New York. I'm the oldest of 3 kids. My parents don't suffer from the disease of alcoholism and drug addiction. My brother doesn't. My sister does. She's still out there doing her thing. I pray for her daily. We don't really have much of a relationship anymore. But I hope she comes around. Always available for her if she needs me. Grew up religious. Kind of a religious household. My dad was into some stuff when I was young, so we bolted from New York to Delaware all of a sudden for one weekend, and I was already an angry kid, always getting in trouble, and that just escalated even further when I got to Delaware. I kind of got a late start. There were signs of my addictive traits and this disease in me when I was younger. But I was always acting out, growing up. I dabbled with some stuff in high school, but it's nothing serious. Until I got to adulthood, and I refused to drink when I was younger because both my grandfathers were really hardcore alcoholics, and I saw what it did to my family. It destroyed them, so I wanted nothing to do with it. 21st birthday, had a drink, and it was a wrap from there. It was love at first sip, I like to say. And from there on, my life just completely unraveled. Whoever I encountered was in my life, chewed them up, spit them out. It led to 17, treatment stints, hospital stays, car accidents, 2 attempts to exit this world. Just crazy. Incarceration, arrest. The whole gamut. Meanwhile, I had no idea who I was internally, and I didn't have a connection with God at all. So January 30th was, my sobriety date is January 31st, but January 30th is the day where I hit the lowest point in my entire life. I was sitting in a dark room. Hadn't eaten, showered for days, was doing what I was doing. The only time I left the house was to get what I needed. And I just broke. I snapped. It's that indescribable, dark, depths of darkness that only we understand. And I literally yelled out, like, God, like, what? Do something with me. And at that point, I was willing to take suggestion. And I took suggestion, so I went into treatment for the very last time. Something clicked. I was done. I was done. And I was willing to take in whatever information or whatever avenue I had to take in order to get sober and live a life, live life, because I didn't want to live life. I was done. I didn't want to live anymore. And that's, I don't know, it's crazy to think about. That's where I was at that point, that day, almost 2 years ago. So yeah, did my treatment, took suggestion to go to a long-term treatment recovery place, and they stripped me down to bare bones. It was like recovery boot camp. Had to sit there with myself, went through all the steps, rediscovered my connection with God, my higher power, made prayer like a daily thing. As soon as my eyes open up, I pray right in bed. Like, that is literally the first thing I do. And I pray throughout the day a lot. Like, I catch myself a lot, like, dang, I've prayed like 6 times already today. And that's the last thing I do before when I close my eyes and go to sleep. So that relationship is there now. My life wouldn't be where it is without that connection, without that relationship. I learned a lot of stuff about myself. I figured out who I actually was. That was pretty cool. Where my life is now, my life is absolutely amazing. It's a life that I never thought I was able to live. Relationship with my family now. I talk to my parents now. I'm not angry with my dad like I used to be. My dad's one of my boys. That's the kind of relationship we have. My brother, another one of my best friends who I did dirty, and that relationship came around. Incredible group of friends that are here supporting me. Beautiful girlfriend and her family. Like, I'm blessed beyond measure. Employable today, able to be a son. Opportunities, coming out of nowhere. Like, I get to sit down and have a conversation with a boss and tell him I'm leaving. And his words are like, the door's always open if you ever decide or need to come back. Usually they were like showing me the door, like, get out of here. So just something like that. I'm a really reflective person. I have been a lot lately. Just something as simple as that is just powerful to me. Those little moments are powerful. About to start another great job, like, it came out of nowhere. And that wasn't me, that was God. Had nothing to do with me. So, yeah, I think I'm about flaming out right now. Thank you guys again. I appreciate it. This is an honor and a privilege, and thank you for listening to me.